Well, gang, it seems like we got another mystery at our hands. Hide your kids, hide your wives. You guys know the deal by now. We're gonna jump right into it because the clips that we have today are baffling indeed. Thank you guys so much for 200 likes on the last video. Shout out to Barry Step. Roll it.
Patriots, I have this update just in. Someone in my comments,
Patriots?
thank you, asked me, how did Uncle Ron die? I have some answers. Now, this is where it gets a little crazy. He died last month. He was only 59 years old, very young. Some people are whirling around that he died of that same pneumonia that Kim Porter had. Sounds a little bit shady. Sounds like maybe the diddler had him taken care of, because here's something real crazy. I had myself and my people reach out to his family because his TikTok page is still active, and people in the comments
Diddlers? I mean, Diddy or Uncle Ron?
are asking, what happened to Uncle Ron? What happened? What is the family doing? Deleting all of the comments. If you go over to Uncle Ron's TikTok page, try this, Patriots, I did it. Say, what happened to Ron? How did he expire? They delete your question. Why? Because they want to keep their family members safe and everyone else in their life that they care about, because the diddler is not done with his nastiness. Patriots, it is not safe for me to be spilling this tea. I will have another afternoon update this afternoon. Thank you very much. Secret Service Sam, over and out.
Yeah, guys, pray for Secret Service Sam. Yeah, honestly, bro, you're flying way too high for this one. Yeah, yeah, man, prayers out for everybody, bro.
Samson for president.
Shout out to Sam. Shout out to Patriot Sam.
That's a heck of an accusation. I'm not going to give my opinion on whether or not I think Diddy is responsible for the death of his bodyguard. I don't have a clue. How could I? But with everything else going on with this case, you have to admit that's some awfully convenient timing. I'm sure that guy was going to be a witness in that trial, and dead men can't talk.
I have to say, I definitely side with Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan?
I,
Dragon
too,
believer?
am a dragon believer. In another way to constantly distort and perverse our history, dinosaurs are not from millions of years ago, but are in fact the dragons that all of our ancestors depicted in such great detail. Let's take a look at some of that evidence, like this temple in Cambodia.
This will come out. A dinosaur? Or a valbo?
Dinosaur.
How is it that this temple from Cambodia has a perfect depiction of a dinosaur thousands of years before their discovery? Or this oil painting from 1652, when zoomed in closer, shows large humans riding what appears to be dinosaurs. That's why this dictionary definition from 1946 describes them as now rare.
That's wild, right? Because, okay, from what we know, dinosaurs, they expired because of the meteor millions and millions of years ago. And that thing where you see that was like the paintings, or not the paintings but the carvings, for thousands of years old, a little bit suspect for sure. But I wouldn't be shocked if we had some creatures back like thousands of years ago that no longer exist today, that went extinct, that were a little bit similar to, let's just say, dinosaurs, dragons. Because if you actually research and look into it, chicken actually came from the T-Rex. Oh, shit! Essentially, right? You know what I mean, right? If you research, I was mind blown too.
Nothing about mythical. It's why the Chinese zodiac shows all real animals, not all but one real animal. The Chinese, in fact, had an official dragon handler up until the 1700s. Much like the petrified remains of giants, there too are much petrified remains to be found of dragons. When the eyes are truly open, you can see this beautiful world for what it was truly. The lies of dinosaurs had to be installed into our history, much like most of the fabrications of it. It removes us from the divine creator, our true connections to this realm. Question everything, friends.
So we were using dragons to fly. Was that, were they friendly? If, for example, if they existed, right? I don't know, man. I was not there, but
until next time.
Dragons and dinosaurs just had to be around during the time of man. There's just no other way you could explain them having so many depictions of dinosaurs that we only recently discovered. Unless ancient men also dug up fossilized remains and pieced them together to see what kind of shape they made, there just couldn't be any other explanation. I'm totally convinced that dragons were real and that a lot of the dinosaur remains we have today are actually...
But if they were real, right, like what would they gain to say they did not exist? Like, yeah, that's the question, right? Like, okay, for aliens and all that, yeah, they don't want to like tell the truth because like it will cause chaos, or perhaps they have some sort of technology that they don't want the public to see or have. You know, there's like a lot of reasons for that, but what could be the reason of hiding the truth about, let's just say, dragons existing, if they existed? I'm not 100% convinced yet, but I wouldn't be shocked, is what I'm trying to say, if they existed. But
actually dragon remains. What do y'all think?
With all the discussion about UFOs coming from our oceans, some people are starting to question past events that happened altogether. Many of you may remember this, but a few years ago, around 2021 and 2022, there was a series of accidental ocean fires, as well as US Navy tests where they were detonating massive bombs in the middle of the ocean. At the time,
not just massive bombs, but like nukes as well, right? Perhaps that was a specific massive bomb, but previously we have tested nukes underwater too.
People didn't think too much of it, but with all the recent discussion about UFOs and their relationship to the ocean, some people are starting to theorize that these events weren't mere accidents and tests, but that these were planned, purposely executed, and targeted at underwater UAPs, and some people even going as far as to say that they were targeting a marine kingdom or underwater base altogether. Now, obviously, those are just theories and speculations. There's no hard evidence behind those claims, but I do remember seeing an interesting video around the same time of a swarm of UFOs over the ocean. I want you to check out that clip and let me know what you think in the comments.
God, at all. Then all of a sudden, bam, what is that?
Yeah, this one was crazy.
Anybody
I remember this.
What that is? We're in the middle of the ocean on a ferry. Nothing around. Look. Nothing around.
I don't buy this theory. We've seen time and time again that these things can outpace and outmaneuver anything that we can put in the air. Why in the world would we purposefully attack their underwater base unless we were doing it out of self-defense? It would literally be like poking a sleeping bear. And they've shown no signs of being aggressive toward us. This just wouldn't make any sense. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this type of content, I make a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday. It'd be awesome if you'd hit...
Because, like, they might also, guys, like and subscribe. Because here's the thing, though. If we attack them, are they going to attack back? I mean, normally that's what we would assume, right? This is why we don't want to attack them. Because if we attack them, what if they attack back? But what if we attack them and they don't attack back? That's also, like, a relevant question. But generally speaking, the way us humans work, the way our mind work is that, hey, if you don't attack somebody, because they're gonna attack back, you know.
And he posted back in April of 2023. This is according to
store at berry-step.com.
There is a UFO base in the Atlantic Ocean. This is according to an anonymous user on 4chan. And he posted back in April of 2023 and claimed to have this in-depth knowledge as someone who was involved with a secret crash retrieval program with the government. According to his story, these aliens are present in our oceans, and they have this mobile construction facility somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle, and perhaps other locations as well. Based on what he learned, the US found out that this facility builds UFOs or UAPs with specific purposes before being sent out to do whatever it is that they do. And they used to use pilots, but now they're mostly unmanned and controlled by AI. And they think that this facility has been on Earth for hundreds, if not thousands of years. I mean, what's really going on in these old paintings and carvings and petroglyphs? He also said that a number of times the US and other countries have sent in jets and submarines to investigate this base or to even try to attack it, but the facility's defense system vaporizes anything that comes close with malicious or aggressive intent. He says that it's believed that these beings aren't here to harm us. In fact, they seem more like zookeepers and are fairly indifferent towards humanity unless there's a big problem, i.e. this.
That's like a really insane comment, right? They are zookeepers. In other words, saying this planet Earth is like a zoo and we're like the animals living in the zoo. And for sure, like over the years, you must have heard this analogy, right? Like the Earth is a zoo, like we're all in the zoo. It's like the Matrix, right? It's the Matrix. We're all here. Yeah, right, but that's a crazy way to put this, that this is really a zoo and they are like the gatekeepers. They're just trying to, they're like the, for example, if you were to go in a zoo and you see like a tiger or a lion inside a cage, that's like us. If tiger or the lion would do something bad, we're gonna tranquilize them, we're gonna hit them, we're gonna shoot them with a tranquilizer, and it's like the same thing that they might be doing right now. It's like they're watching out, like, hey man, don't blow the nuke. If you blow up a nuke, this is what we're gonna do, and all this, right? Crazy, insane thought, man. Imagination sometimes is truly wild.
He also claimed to have seen the non-human occupant.
What if this is not imagination? What if this is real? But yeah, right, crazy.
Big prop, i.e. this. He also claimed to have seen the non-human occupants of downed craft, and that these craft were also powered by a stable isotope of Moscovium, or element 115. The same element that Bob Lazar said was the power source for the UFOs he worked on at S4 over 30 years ago. So was this guy telling the truth? Well, with all of the talk of disclosure and recent government hearings that are acknowledging that UFOs or UAPs exist, you really have to wonder what's actually going on.
I just find it hard to believe that someone with that type of clearance would be spewing out top secret information on 4chan, though it has happened before. If I had to guess, this is just somebody with a really solid theory who thought that this would be the best way to get people talking about it. I really like the theory, and it sounds like it connects a lot of dots, like where these things are coming from, why they're so prevalent around our oceans, why they haven't attacked us yet. I just think this is a really good idea that somebody proposed by giving themselves a false sense of authority on the topic.
Right now,
you know, another thing, I don't remember what's the movie name, but I feel like this concept was explored in one of the movie. I don't remember where I heard this, or perhaps like this is one of my own imagination, but you know, I probably heard or seen something that is leading me to actually say what I'm about to say now, is that what if, like, well, we're seeing a lot of activity right now, right? The Congress is also confirming that yes, UFOs are real, UAPs are real as well now. And we're seeing a lot of them. People put out videos every day. You know what I mean? Most of them, I guess you can say fake, but at least some of them gotta be real. The point is that we're seeing a lot of activity. What if they're all coming here, setting up their bases, and they're trying to come in like numbers to study us, and they are trying to come here, and once all of them, or the majority of them are here, that's when they're gonna like try to overtake. I know that's like a pessimistic approach. That is really a pessimistic approach, and this is one of those things that surely nobody wanna see it real, unless you're a crazy one, or unless you love drama, you know what I mean? But for a minute it would be okay, like it's gonna satisfy your dramatic need, but then it's like, holy shit, we're losing planet to aliens? Nah man, nobody wants that, right? Let's be real. But thoughts?
Now there are 131 active deep underground military bases in the United States that I was involved in building another base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. On the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa, we built an underground facility, a better part of 3 cubic miles hollowed out underground. Then to the southwest of that, we were in the process of the early stages of building. We drilled 4 large tunnel-like holes. Some of them ran 2.5 miles under surface. This was in late August of 1979.
Man.
The equipment kept coming up broken. So we wanted to go down, we wanted to send somebody down there, a human observer, to find out what was going on. The large alien grays had been encamped there for, as best as believed possible, about 400 or 500 years. Had been one of their internal bases. And we drilled holes right on top of it. In this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, was sitting a 7-foot tall alien gray, and I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do
what the hell?
Die. However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish.
What the hell?
Burnt my fingers right off of me. It was some form of electrical.
He's really talking about himself. For a second, I was like, in my head, I was like, he's describing a story from somebody in first person, right? But no, he's saying that he did that. What the hell? And if I'm not mistaken, he was the one that actually revealed the Project Blue. Let me say something else, so because we're on YouTube, beam, okay? Yeah, put it together now. I cannot say that the entire word at once. I mean, I can, but videos get blacklisted. So, I believe he was the guy, if I'm not mistaken, if memory serving me right. And later on, for sure, as you would expect, he mysteriously passed away.
Force, because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. Completely crispy crittered my left foot. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died. But he risked his life. He shoved me back in the batch and hit the button and took me up. He lost his life.
Crazy if true.
I just had to put that in here. That is a wild story. And that supposedly happened back in the 70s. There's no telling how many incidents we've probably had like this that are actually true. And I'm not saying this one isn't. I just don't know. But if these beings have been here hiding on Earth for thousands of years, it would only make sense that we would occasionally bump into them on accident. I just wonder, if they mean us no harm, why are they going so far out of their way to stay hidden? It just doesn't make any sense. Why not come out and live amongst us? I just feel like
it's like one of those things, right? Like, I remember that Israeli guy, astronomer, I believe, or not astronomer, but space defense guy. You know who I'm talking about, right? He came out, I believe, around like 2020. It's been a few years, I guess. And he said that Trump knows about aliens, Galactic Federation is real, but these aliens don't want to come out just yet and reveal themselves because us humans were not ready for it. That's what he said. What does that mean? I don't know. He says that we're not ready. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I feel like we are ready, but but for sure, like, I cannot speak on everybody's behalf, right? I guess they might be right. We're not ready because you know, when COVID happened, we all saw we all saw how it was, right? Like, everybody just ran to the hoard on toilet paper, get those thicks as well. It was insane. It was insane.
Like, the initial shock of these things would wear off pretty quickly, and before you know it, you'd have a new normal.
We have both seen the film that was taken out of the Dulce facility. Why would somebody make pictures like this showing the creation of some sort of alien being? And this is a facility. This is a facility that's run by the United States government. I mean, with your tax money. Hamilton talked about the Dulce facility, and I've also heard about, you know, genetic engineering programs at Area 51.
Yeah, there's no question that Dulce exists. You know, I was the one that kind of led the research on that. I was at a meeting in Crestone, Colorado, and Tom Adams handed me a letter from a lady who lives in Las Vegas, and she was the one that tipped us off that this thing existed. So I talked to her, and she knew the location of some photos and videotape that had been taken inside Dulce by a guard who escaped during what they call the Dulce Wars of 1979. He used to contact her every 6 months, and he said, if I ever miss contacts 2 in a row for a year, you can go after this box, which they had hidden somewhere here in Nevada, that contained 6 minutes of videotape, 25 black and white photos, and some other documentation about what went on in Dulce. About 2 years ago, he did turn up missing. We never heard from him. And I think there was like 12 or 13 attempts after the box, but it had been hidden maybe at least 10 years ago in the terrain and the foliage and everything changed. I don't think they ever got it out.
He said in level 5...
Are these videos made by AI, or is this that footage that he gave to somebody and he revealed it when he went missing? Because, like, yeah, I got questions, like, are we looking at the real thing or the fake one? Because as you've seen in, like, the previous story, when he was saying, like, the guy was saying that I shot the alien and it burnt my like the toenails, the toes and the fingers, right? The video that was running in the background was generated with AI, you know what I mean? But what about this one?
You'd walk on by and people would be in cages and screaming and begging for help, and he was told to walk straight on through and not look or pay attention. Yeah. These people are all mad.
I heard that. And then from another source, Air Force engineering source, I heard that when he went there, they referred to it as Section D. And then Bob heard it referred to when he was up at the test site just once, and somebody said, mentions something about being shipped to Dulce, but that's the only reference he ever heard to it.
And I call these, the guys who are working in the facility as Igors, the invisible government's obedient robotons. So it really is a Frankenstein factory.
I've heard some wild claims about the facility in Dulce, New Mexico. What are y'all's thoughts on it? Do y'all think the stories are true? That they're doing some sort of genetic experiments there and making animal-human hybrids? Part of me just feels like there's no way the United States would be doing that in 2024. But then another part of me thinks it's the federal government. Look at all the other horrible things they've been caught doing. I don't really know what to think on this one.
To be honest, I do believe that something like that is probably was done or is being done. It's just like us humans, we always have the fascination of humans are curious, like what if we do this, what if we do that, you know. So yeah, maybe for research reasons or maybe for some not so good reasons. I do believe in the idea of perhaps I'm not saying this story is true, I'm saying as in like generally, right? Like, yeah,
we got
I wouldn't be shocked.
News. Another underground cable was just sabotaged. Shocker. This one connecting Germany and Finland. Of course, this is clearly not an accident. On top of that, Europe is preparing for World War III. And the biggest news that I just saw is that the Biden administration is moving to forgive almost $5 billion of loans to Ukraine. Yeah, seriously. They also vetoed a UN ceasefire resolution today. Does anyone else wonder if maybe allegedly the reason they're going to forgive that much money is because maybe some of that money is... Finish my sentence. I mean, this is a country that had more than 260 million in violations in their defense ministry last year. This is a leader who allegedly bought two $75 million yachts with some of this money too. Zelensky, baby. Oh, and we pay for their government too.
That underground cable, from what I've heard, they've stopped a Chinese ship that they think was responsible. Of course, that information came from our mainstream media, so put zero trust in that. It wouldn't surprise me if we found out a few months from now that it was the United States that severed those lines. It seems like we're always the ones putting more fuel on the fire. I don't see why anyone should expect this situation to be any different.
America, it always is. The US is always behind everything by the looks of it, right? Or at the end, we always find out it was the US that did it. America did it. America did it. But guys, check out this video on the screen. This is the last episode that we've done. We had some insane clips in this one that's definitely gonna get you baffled. Do not miss on this one. Check it out and I'll see you right there.